So could you first tell me a little bit about your company?
Well, the company I'm working for is called Tschudi Shipping Company. It is a Norwegian company based in Oslo. And it is a family-owned company which has its roots back to 1883, and it's owned by the fourth generation of owners. So it is a company that has been around for a while, and it also intends to be around for a while.
Where are your operations?
Our operations in general worldwide. We have one ship owning company in Denmark, one in Estonia, and we also have one ship owning company in Holland. And for these companies we have worldwide operations. However, the company has during the last decade been focusing very much on what is happening in the northern regions. And maybe our biggest involvement is actually in northern Norway, in Kirkenes as such, which is a border town 10 kilometers from the Russian border.
So have you been doing a lot of research and following closely what is happening in the Arctic with the melting of the sea ice, with an eye on utilizing the Northern Sea route?
We have been following very closely in general what is happening in the Arctic, and of course very much with the eyes of position in Kirkenes as such. With regard to research, we don't have our own research department. We have quite a lot of good, competent personnel on board, but we don't have researchers as such. However, we have found that very much of the information is already available out there. So in 2009, well, we took an initiative together with Norwegian Ship Owners Association to try to, make all this information, or at least as much as possible, available, so that people could share this information. So I would say that we are not at all a research institution, but we definitely try to use and get hold of the information which is available there, and that is also that there is an information sharing between the business community and the research community, and I believe that this is starting to work now, and I believe much more will happen. With regard to the Northern Sea route, it is definitely not a new sea route. It has been around for quite a few years. And you know that already 100 years back it was you had the Norwegian entrepreneur Jonas Lied, who really tried to use that even to link northern Siberia and the Atlantic markets. So it is not as such a new sea route, but you see that the possibility to use it seems to have changed quite a bit. The ice cap, summer ice cap, has been reduced, and in that way the Northern Sea route is now ice-free very much of the summer. That starts maybe around late June, July, August, depending on what the climate weather looks like and what the current and wind is that year. And as such, then there is a window where you can use the Northern Sea route, and the Northern Sea route as such then is more like an ocean than I would say a narrow strait.
And are you hoping to utilize this route in the future?
Yes, we are, if it is open, and we believe it will be. We would like to see that it is used, and we see that it can be used both for transit between Asia and Europe, as well as for destinational shipping.
But do you think it will be feasible using it in the next few years? Because it's only, of course, a few months, and you have to have strengthened vessels. And,
no, that's of course an issue, and you see that you need ice-strengthened vessels, and today the requirement for using the sea route, I would say in principle, is the same requirement as you have in the Baltics during the winter, namely ice class 1A. That may change if the ice conditions are changing. We don't know what this will look like, and I think that will also be, a picture which will be changing for the whole Arctic. There should be ice-strengthened vessels if you are to navigate in ice, and there should also be procedures there for mapping ice and to follow it. there are already quite a few tankers which are ice strengthened, and that is because there is quite a big use of them in the Baltic already. With regard to dry cargo vessels, there are lots of smaller vessels with the ice class. However, there are not many big ones yet. There are 2 ice class Panamaxes and a few handy-sized vessels, and then the rest are much smaller tonnage. So that is actually a limitation to the use of the polar, to the Northern Sea route as it is today.
You mentioned Kirkenes, and another hot topic is hub ports in the Arctic. Yes. There has been a lot of talks both in Kirkenes, in Murmansk, and also in Iceland about maybe opening up a huge port which could be then linked to Europe. What's your opinion of this?
I think that it is a possibility that it will take place, but I'm not quite sure if this will be a container port as it looks today, because I don't think there are any container ships currently with ice class. So I think that you will look much more at that for project cargoes, maybe to start with. It will be for bulk cargoes, and it will be tankers, and also possibly LNG shipping. But if you look at all the activities taking place in the region, both with regard to mine development as well as oil and gas development, you will find that there will be quite a lot of project cargoes that may used to be or need to be positioned. And after they've been positioned, they can use the short window, ice-free window, to actually get the cargo into the area where it's a final port.
I'm also wondering about the Russian investments in the Northern Sea route, particularly the establishment of the search and rescue units in the major Russian ports. Will this influence the legal regime of the Northern Sea route?
I don't know if it will influence the legal regime as such, but I think maybe, and I'm not going to talk about Russian politics, but I think actually that what you see there is that it looks then as if Russia is taking a responsibility for the Northern Sea route, and I think with that should also follow influence. If there is a problem along the Northern Sea route, it will become a problem for Russia. If there is a ship which has a problem along the Northern Sea route, the ones who will get the first call will be Russia. And I think in that respect that the approval system that you have today, I think that's actually a responsible act, and also following this up with search and rescue centers, I think that is also an act of responsibility. If the numbers of search and rescue centers will be sufficient, if their location is ideal, that I don't know, but I think actually that something is happening and that there is an initiative as this. I think that's positive.
The future of Arctic shipping, do you foresee a lot of changes in the next few years or decades?
I think this will be an evolution and not a revolution. It is happening more now than anybody had foreseen 10 years back, but I think we must still put it in a perspective. If you see the number of passengers, commercial passengers using the Northern Sea route in 2010, there were 4. There were 34 in 2011, a substantial increase, but I don't think that you can then continuing multiplying the number with 6 every year, or 6 even more. And you also have to see this in the perspective of the Suez Canal and the Panama Canal. I mean, most of the traffic in the world will go around Cape, it will go around Suez, or through Suez, or it will go through Panama. There were 18,000 passengers or passings of the Suez Canal in 2011. There were 12,000 passengers in the Panama Canal. So 34 is still quite a small number.